People are very much at the center of our work.
Manchester is a place that we both have a long-standing relationship with.
For me, it always starts out in the city. I love Manchester. I think it's a city that is full of character, railway infrastructure, canals. It's full of life and energy. But then you also realize there's some things missing that other cities have.
We always talked about this notion of living in the landscape, not close to it, but actually living in the valley, living in the landscape, and then drawing the urbanity of the city out.
One of the unfortunate results often of urban development is that urban arrives and everything natural is kind of eradicated. Capitalism amassed in huge quantums, and you stamp cities out of the ground a district at a time. You often find yourself in new urban environments that are not even feeling as if they're inhabited. And I think we need to think more and more about the city as a total ground floor environment.
This is what kind of became the backbone for wild urbanism, urbanizing the valley and wilding the city. Red Bank was always kind of conceived as this new, high-density, livable, distinct, unique neighbourhood. This site is utterly unique, and it has everything that Manchester doesn't have. It has a river. Manchester turns its back on its rivers or culverts them. It has topography. Manchester's notoriously flat across the city centre, so we have this amazing kind of layered and stepped topography. And it has this kind of amazing kind of self-seeded wild landscape.
If you go to Red Bank now, it's, you know, like the surface of the moon, it's vacant sites and it's hard to imagine it as a neighbourhood. But Oliver and Kevin came up with this concept of wild urbanism, which you could all sort of buy into and relate to and feel passionate about.
We have a large site that can actually hold 4,500 homes. All of these homes are connected with what we call the climate loop. So the idea was, how can we create a spine, you could say, network of connected walking and cycling paths? We have an opportunity here to actually create real urban blocks that front real urban streets. We can deliver an urban development that gets a lot of people together in time and space, but we use the situation of the river valley, the existing landscape, and grow that as well. So we are growing urban development and we are growing an existing landscape condition. How are we doing it?
Oliver and Kevin provided that narrative, provided that story. It was clear from the start that they had a real bond between them and they had a real passion for Manchester. I think wild urbanism is so important because having that moment of reflection in nature and space, green space to connect with is hugely important.
So we're wilding the city, urbanizing the valley.
You can design a world that makes it easier to fall in love with people and places. Manchester is full of places that make it more difficult. And we're setting out to create one that makes it easier. It's about homes, it's about love, it's about connecting with your family and your urban environment. More goodness coming your way.